Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Starward Rogue. During the last part, I did my first failed attempt on the extended hard mode using the Zephyr Mech, which unfortunately I still hold by my statement that it doesn't work the best on hard mode, due to the fact that enemies have more health, usually the bosses specifically, and that drains out its bonuses over time, so it isn't as useful unfortunately. It is more useful on normal and lower difficulty modes, but hard mode and above, not so much. So instead I'm going to be using the Alpha Mech, which if you recall, has a increased XP gain, but it has a randomized set of perks upon level up, so it's a lot more in luck. I may get a lot of high level perks initially, or I may end up with a lower level set. And in fact, this was actually added as one of the new mechs into the game a few updates ago, along with Penumbra, so it's no longer a modded mech. So let's begin and hope for the best. At the very least, I don't need to rush anymore. Also, because this was added to the base game, it actually has two new weapons. It starts out with the Alpha Ray, which can fire true enemies, and the Alpha Slugger, which is like a prototype shotgun. Sometimes it fires out weak, sometimes it fires out really strong cannons, as you can see there. There seems to be three modes: low damage, medium damage, and high damage. Sure, I'll gladly take that. That was a moment of high damage. Now let's hope I get a good set of perks and hope I survive. The hardest part of these runs are the boss fights, especially the higher difficulty modes, due to the increased number of projectiles. The other problem with the Alpha Mech is, of course, I only started with 4 health. So, if I lose my shields, I will most likely die if I can take 4 hits, or 2 hits against bosses, unfortunately. That's the only sacrifice for using the Alpha Mech, unfortunately. I wish I started out with 6 health, but, well, I guess that's a trade-off. If you're lucky, due to how the magic card power works, you can end up super powerful at the end. But you need to survive long enough in order to see or reap the rewards, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to do. I'm gonna save that just for now. Oh goodness gracious, Bastil. The one who blocks all my shots and has the ability to knock me across the room. This is gonna be a problem. I was lucky there. Oh, goody. Brutal Deluxe. That's lucky. But the main problem is getting to level 3, or more specifically, surviving as the boss. You've seen how brutal it can be in the previous part. Sure, let's take a risk here. Didn't work. Okay, consumables. Okay, I'm gonna have to kill you, sorry. I really need to take a risk here, and it didn't work. Sure, I'll take Lilliputian, but to be fair, I have a really large shot, so I can easily hit them regardless. And they give more experience, which is gonna combo well with my abilities. At least that's what I hope. Oh yeah, enemies are much smaller now. Which means running into them is a lot less of a risk, but it's a little bit harder to hit them. Well, we're coming up to the first boss fight, and I'm quite worried. I don't feel like I'm at the proper power level to survive. The level designers were not kidding when they said that this was designed for bullet hell aficionados. They were not joking. And because of it, I'm not sure if I'll be able to survive. If I fail with this one, what I'm going to try next is use the Arcen Mech. After all, that has a pretty decent damage per second with both of its weaponry. Okay, let's hope for the best. Wildmaster. Oh yeah, you're smaller too. Oh no, it fires back at me too. Yeah, there's no way I can get close to it. This is getting too crazy. I get the feeling I'm not skilled enough for playing on hard mode, and that's fine, I think, because they explicitly said it's for pixel perfect accuracy and bullet hell games, but I'm terrible at those anyway, so I'm gonna try once more using the Arcen Mech, and if I fall, in the next part, I'm just gonna go back to playing on normal mode. And I'm going to use the Alpha Mech on normal mode to see how far I can progress through this. I know it's unfortunate, but I don't feel skilled enough for this. It's way out of my skill level, but I don't fault Arcen Games for it. After all, they designed it for multiple skill levels, and they gave us the choice between normal and hard. I just wonder what Rodney is hiding, and if he's on misery mode, I won't be able to see what secrets he's hiding. In that case, I'll just either create an OP mech and go make ham on hard mode and then misery mode, just to show how crazy it gets later on, or just open up a YouTube video and see it for myself. And I wonder how crazier it's gonna get when I get to stuff like the gold floors. Oh gosh, that's gonna be really scary. If you're wondering, we have twin miniguns, so 2 basic miniguns together. No secondary weapons though. Never mind, we actually do have a secondary weapon. That's a little bit strange. Oh well, it makes us a lot more powerful. That I do approve of. Now I can combine my weaponry in order to essentially see what craziness occurs. or rather to increase my DPS while still maintaining my skill set, or rather maintaining flexibility. So effectively my starting DPS is doubled. That means that all buffs that benefit my attack power will be doubly better, especially because I can infinitely use these. And at the very least I started with 6 base health and 1 shield. For this mode, having 2 shields seems to be the way to go. In fact, after I fail on this one more time, and I have enough time, I'll try out using the Flame Mech on this. That has 2 shields, and that's more powerful. Bastel again. Seriously, what's with the random generation here in Bastel? Well, thanks to my double DPS, it means that I can deal with these enemies more easily. Thank you for the triple missile launcher. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to utilize it properly though. Okay, first level up. Okay, shard splitter. I didn't expect hard mode to actually decrease or rather increase the number of shards, or well, the max number of shards I need in order to get 1 extra health. Well, I have nothing more to do other than fight the boss, so here goes nothing, I suppose. I doubt I'm going to survive. Crystal Mother. Oh, you. Yeah, I think this makes my point very clear that this is way over my skill level. Definitely. Honestly, showing off the flame tank will probably just waste your time because I'll end up dying in the first floor. Most of the enemies are tougher, but the boss fights, oh my goodness, those are ones that are tuned up significantly, much more than the enemies. To be fair, hard mode did warn me about that. It's definitely not geared towards the normal top-down shooter SHMUP players like I am. Hard mode, and by extension Misery, are much more for bullet hell players, for specifically the much more difficult bullet hell games. And Misery, well, it's up there with some of the harder Toho games, and both Murdered and Insanity. So, well, sorry for the shorter part, but I can't really say more that I haven't shown already, and it gets harder from here on out. I mean, the enemies aren't that bad to deal with, but it's just the bosses. The bosses are the problem of trying to survive, not due to their damage, more so because of all the projectiles flying everywhere. So this is definitely designed for a much more skilled player. And it gets worse from here on out. I still wonder how, in my first attempt, I was able to take Zephyr down to floor 3 where I died to the Aegis. I must have gotten lucky with some of my spawns. Or dodging. So, my apologies viewers, from here on out, I'm only going to be playing on the normal mode setting. Unless once I create my OP mech, then I'll take it on my hard mode setting just to show how fun it is to break the game. Especially when you use stuff like temp dev mode, or play with everything unlocked. Just for funsies. So in the next part, I'll go back to Logorogue's set of modded mechs and try out their latest mech, the Grim Reaper or Grim Dawn. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!